نعم. نعم.
Hadith 36. Abu Hurairah said that the Messenger of Allah said, "Give gifts, for verily gifts remove rancor of the heart." Musnad Ahmad.
The Prophet ﷺ said in his hadith, Tahadu, give gifts. In a marriage that you've been in, ask yourself a question. What was the last time you actually bought your spouse a gift? I promise you, gifts, it opens the hearts. And when you have a gift that your wife brought you, every now and then when you look at it, you'll just enjoy it. Like, subhanallah, mabarik. My wife brought me this. In your heart. And the same with the wife. She'll remember it. Gift is one of the greatest gestures. And you know what it does? It removes a lot in the heart. You know what's behind a gift? Not the materialistic thing that you gave. You know what it shows? It shows that you were thinking of this person at a particular moment of that day. That's what touches the person the most. That moment you went out of your way to get. You were thinking about me. It makes the person think, wow, Allah barik. Gifts are good. Tahadu, tahabu. When you give gifts, you start to love one another. And a man who you would tend to see, he tries his best to go home with something. Something small. He brings something to the house. Are we all together? And some people, they think the gift means to the children and the wife is, no, specifically to her. Remember, brothers, when you emotionally invest in this woman, the output, what's going to come out is going to benefit your children. You have to always remember that. The more you put in her, the more energy you put towards her, and the more you do for her, the more it's going to help your children. The upbringing that they're going to get. She's going to wake up so early and so fresh, and she's going to do these children justice. But if you depress her and you stress her out, what's she going to do? She's going to give them Weetabix in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. Hakada. Your children are going to suffer. She can't even sit down to teach them. She can't talk. She's sad. She's slow. She's down. When you invest in her emotionally, what's she going to do? She's going to think she's Sheikh Sudais. She's going to read Quran to them. She's going to make them memorize this. She's going to tell them do this. She's going to do activities with them in the house. And any brother who's married, has a wife with children, do that. And I promise you, see that day what she does. Treat her good and then just check what happens in the house that day. Ooh, the kids even played activities in the house. Wow. The cat was looked after. Everything was in place. Are you with me, brothers? The house was done. Your clothes, the wardrobe, all sorted. I promise you, wallah, you'll see it. The day that she's down, you will see everything's all over the place. So it's very important to invest in her emotions, and gifts are the best ways. What is it? It's the best way. When you enjoy something, do you find hardship in doing it? Huh? When you enjoy doing something, do you find hardship in doing it? You don't. That's what it means for the woman. When she feels, she enjoys this relationship, this marriage, she's willing to give everything to it. And she will not feel the hardship of raising the children and cooking, and she won't find that problem. It won't be a problem for her. But if it's like Allah said, you have to do it. Woo, wajib. The ulama, they said this. And it's nothing beyond and below that. It's just, this fatwa is always stuck on the wall in every room. This is just going to make her repulsive. And sometimes, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, it can make the person feel that this religion is trying to, put me through a hardship. We're all together, brothers. Naam.
Hadith 37, narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "If you enter at night, do not enter upon your family till the woman whose husband was absent from the house shaves her pubic hair, and the woman with unkempt hair combs her hair." Sahih Bukhari.
This hadith shows that when the man comes to his family, beautification. This concept of beautification. The wife does the same and the man does it. The pubic hair and the hair that you cut, you groom yourself. You look good. Comb your hair. Have a nice haircut. Do something. Are we all together, brothers? Do something to look nice, fresh. When you land, you look fresh. It's sad that sometimes, subhanAllah, people are married, the husband forgets his appearance. He wakes up in his pajamas and all day he's running around the house in his pajamas. He didn't brush his teeth. He doesn't want to brush his teeth. That's a waqia. He doesn't want to brush his teeth. He doesn't want to do anything. His armpits, it does not smell nice. And he's telling her, do this for me. She doesn't want to come close to you. This is very important, sarahatan. And some sisters are like that as well. They're careless about their appearance and the way they look. And the husband starts thinking, wow, my wife looks good on the wedding night when she's going to a wedding. He's like, who's this woman? That's the night she puts effort in and hard work. Before and after, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This is something that's not right. That's not right. So what we have to realize is, wallahi, what we don't understand is the power of what person sees and smells. Are you with me? When I was young, and there was a Quran teacher, and he had a particular atar he used to wear, particular one. And he was the most strictest teachers, one of the strictest teachers I had. Oh, he was strict. I think I can count with one hand how many times I saw him smile. He was strict. He used to beat us up in case we did a mistake. Pay attention to this. So what happened was, his teacher was strict. One day I was in school, and qadarullah, somebody must have had I don't know, somebody had the perfume, I don't know what it is. The smell, I started crying, I thought he was here, I was like, and from that, when I remember now, is the effect that smell has to a person and the connection that it will stick to this person. You will be remembered for that smell. You'll be remembered for that odor. Whenever they remember you with that smell. Perceptions are very important, brothers and sisters. Your husband will remember you in this state. Don't think he will not leave his mind. Are we all together? It's important. The wife should be always on her toes, the same as with the husband. Every day is a new day to be on top of everything. Don't let your husband see you except in the best appearance. Don't let him smell from you except that which is the best. You know what that really shows? That you really care about how he feels. You do beautify yourself, it means you are taking into consideration the other person's what? The other person's feeling. That's very important. So the wife and the husband, make sure you are always sharp at the way that you smell. Now.
Hadith 38. Miqdam ibn Shuraih narrated it from his father, who said, I asked Aisha what Allah's Apostle ﷺ did first when he entered his house. And she replied, he used toothstick. Sahih Muslim.
The Prophet ﷺ, whenever he would come into the house, the first thing he would do with what? Brush his teeth. What would he do? He would come into the house with a miswak. Look at that, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hygiene. And smell nice. If he entered the house, he would throw into his mouth straight away the what? The siwak. This is to show what? To smell. Because remember when you came from outside, you've been talking and this and that. When you come home, smells might be there still in your mouth. What do? One of the best things to do is to go tell the wife, look, I just came, I've been running around, I've been doing a lot. Let me just shower. Go shower, brush your teeth, come out. It's the best. The person should look after their appearance and the way that they are. Now.
Hadith 39. Narrated Al-Aswad that he said that he asked Aisha, what did the Prophet ﷺ used to do in his house? She replied, he used to keep himself busy serving his family, and when it was time for the prayer, he would go for it. Sahih Bukhari.
The husband should play a role in helping in the household as well. Our messenger used to do that, alayhi salatu wasalam. See, this woman is raising 4 or 5 kids of yours, mathalan. Or however much children she's doing. It's an honorable status to roll your sleeves. Say, hey, yeah, what do you need me to do? Don't even say, what do you need me to do? Because sometimes it can be patronizing when you say that. Because most likely she's going to say, no, I don't need you to tell me. It's best to just give yourself a role. Are we all together? Or even sometimes, she just clean the kitchen and bring her breakfast. Just do it one time. Not one time in the whole marriage. And don't make it very often because the person will not realize it's a gift. If you do this every day, she'll be sleeping. She'll say, hey, what time is the breakfast? Be careful, brothers. You have to do this to shock her. Be careful, brothers. You have to do this to shock, like, whoa, whoa, you cooked. And if you bought it from outside, then make sure you get rid of the packages. The point is, you make sure that you do things like that out of the blue. It's very beneficial for the marriage. What does it show? That you're a helping hand. That you're a what? You're a helping hand. And you know what makes it beautiful? It's not what you have to do, and the fact that you did it, you're an honorable person. Does that make sense? Honorable person. Because again, what you're trying to do is invest in this woman. What are you trying to do? Invest. Hiya?
Hadith 40. Narrated Ibn Umar, Uthman did not join the Badr battle because he was married to one of the daughters of Allah's apostle and she was ill. So the Prophet ﷺ said to him, you will get a reward and a share from the war booty similar to the reward and the share of one who has taken part in the Badr battle. Sahih Bukhari.
Uthman radiallahu anhu did not participate in the battle of Badr, and he lost that chance of being a Badri in terms of physically, but he got it in terms of reward. You know why? You need to remember, brothers and sisters, wasn't the battle, pay attention, wasn't the battle of Badr, were the companions a lot in number or were they little? There were 300 and what? 313, 314, 315, 307. That's the view. Kuffar Quraysh were 100, 1,000 something. This was the smallest time. This is the first battle. And by the way, they didn't even prepare for the battle. They only went to get the caravans of Quraysh. It was an unprepared battle. And you know what the Prophet said to Uthman? He said, look after your wife. Stay with her, she's sick. Are you with me, brothers? She is ill. Stay with her and take care of her. Take care of her. And guess what? You get the reward of one who participated in Badr, and inshallah ta'ala, the spoils of war, we will share it with you as though you participated in Badr. Does that make sense? So when your wife is sick, brothers, stay beside her. Don't leave her. Wallahi, the time when you're that lowest and you're weak, the person who's there for you is amazing. I'm not a person, I'm the type of person who loves to be alone. I love alone time, personally. One time I got sick, and when people visited me, it meant so much to me. I'm the type of person, when people visit me, I get annoyed. Because I like my free time. I like space. I like to read. I like to benefit. I don't like socializing too much. I don't even like socializing. But when I got sick, and I started keeping record of the people who came to me, and the relationship with me and those people afterwards, I kept remembering them, brothers. It touched me. Because at that moment you're in bed, you can't do much. Anyone who comes, you don't want them to leave. I was the opposite. I was wanting to talk. The brother's like, I need to go. Why? Why do you need to go? Where do you need to go? The point I'm trying to say to you, brothers, it does mean, and I really learned a big lesson from that, is that when a person is sick, it means a lot when you go and visit them. And you go out of your way and you sit with them and you talk to them. And you know what you do when you go there? You actually give them words of comfort. If your wife at that time, especially when she gives birth, because a lot of women, they suffer from postnatal depression after birth. Are you with me? The reason why they do is because they gave birth and they see their body changed and whatnot, they become very depressed and sad. At this moment, they need a lot of encouragement. A lot of people undermine this. But this is one of the greatest form of depression that happen to women, is some women become psychologically, disorders happen to them, illnesses. Wallah, wallah. It does. So, at that moment, it's when she's ill, spending that time with her, taking her out of those 40 days with patience and certainty and forbearance, brothers, it will never be forgotten. It's very important. The food that you cook that time is 10 times better than the one you did. The wife will remember that time you cooked me soup when but I did that same soup every day after and before. That moment was a time of weakness. If you didn't do it for me, I couldn't have done it myself. Are you with me, brothers? So this is, the Prophet is teaching us that lesson here. To help. Because the women, brothers, are weak. They need that help. Na'am.
Hadith 41. Narrated Aisha, once Hala bint Khuwailid, Khadija's sister, asked the permission of the Prophet ﷺ to enter. On that, the Prophet ﷺ remembered the way Khadija used to ask permission, and that upset him. He said, "O Allah, Hala. So I became jealous and said, what makes you remember an old woman amongst the old women of Quraysh, an old woman of red gums who died long ago, and in whose place Allah has given you somebody better than her? Sahih al-Bukhari.
This is the way the Prophet ﷺ was to who? Hala bint Khuwaylid was the sister of Khadija bint Khuwaylid. What was she? Hala was who? Hala was Khadija's sister. Pay attention to this. The Prophet ﷺ, Hala knocked on the door. She wanted to come in. When she knocked on the door, فَارْتَاعَ لِذَلِكَ, the Prophet went up. And then he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma Hala, oh Allah, Hala. The Prophet said this, alayhi sallam. And then he said, Fistu, success I have gained. In other words, Hala reminded me of who? She reminded me of her sister Khadija. And the Prophet ﷺ, he placed for him on the floor his garment, upper garment, put on the floor, and he told her, sit down. Hala, what brought you? He honored her and he let her go. Why did he do that? What was the reason he did that? Khadija. Khadija. So brothers, honoring your wife doesn't mean while she's alive. It even means after she died. Honoring her friends, her family members, showing them. This is what the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. That's why Aisha was very jealous of Khadija. Sah? She reminded him, because remember sisters, they look alike, right? They have same characteristics. So she reminded him of Khadija. Naam.
Hadith 42. Abu Hurairah reported Allah's Messenger ﷺ as saying, a believing man should not hate a believing woman. If he dislikes one of her characteristics, he will be pleased with another. Sahih Muslim.
This hadith mentions to us to turn a blind eye. Your wife is going to have some issues that you don't agree with. Problematic. But remember what we said. If you see in her something you dislike, you think this is not a good character, then look at the millions and the thousands of other good, noble characteristics that she has. Pay attention to that. Why are you focusing on 2 and 3 things? Does that make sense, brothers? Why are you focusing on a very small number of things? She has so many other good characteristics. Naam.
Hadith 43. Ibn Abbas said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, teach and make it easy, teach and make it easy 3 times. When you are angry, be silent twice. Sahih al-Adab al-Mufrad.
This hadith is as-sukutu 'inda al-ghadab. When you become angry, what should you do? When you are angry, what should you do? Be silent. Don't say anything. The benefit that I want to take from this hadith is, brothers, some people what they do is at a time of anger or a time of weakness, a time when they are reeling from a loss, they make great decisions. Never make big decisions when you're reeling from loss, when you're recovering from a loss. Never make a great decision at a time of anger. Be quiet. Give it 2-3 days and see how you feel. A lot of people, when they get angry, they say things. And guess what? Your wife most likely is not going to forget what you said. And you are not going to forget what she said to you. Those words cannot be taken back. So when you're angry, really learn the discipline of don't speak. Use your teeth as a prison bar for your tongue. Arrest it. Keep it behind bars. Don't let it come out. Because what you say can make or break. It's not what you want to say. You don't even mean it. But trust me, it's going to take days to take that back. Maybe months. The poet, he said, احفظ لسانك أيها الإنسان لا يلدغنك إنه ثعبان كم في المقابر من قتيل لسانه كانت هابه لقاءه شجعان. How many people ended up in places and things happened to them and they even got killed because of a statement that they said? If you look at people who have fights, first of all they have to insult each other and they say things. And guess what? Then the hand comes. The one that starts off everything is the tongue. Are we all together? The tongue is something else. It's a powerful organ. It can bring about very good things and it can also bring destruction. So silence yourself and don't talk. We're going to mention 2 hadiths inshallah and we stop there inshallah.
Hadith 44. Narrated Salama, while I was laying with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam under a single woolen sheet, I got the menses. I slipped away and put on the clothes for menses. He said, "Are you menstruating?" I replied, "Yes." He then called me and made me lie with him under the same sheet. Sahih al-Bukhari.
Aisha is in her menses. This is a natural course of her life. This is a woman. This is what she goes through. This hadith benefits us observing the woman's femininity, what she's a female. This was going to happen. Observing that and working with it. Are we all together? Don't suppress and destroy what she is. This is what Allah created. The hadith is bigger than just the concept of her having her menses and the Prophet ﷺ bringing her under the sheet. It shows observing her nature. She's a female. And there are things about her that you may possibly not like or anything. But this is how Allah created her. And it comes with the package, brother. With the package. So you need to accept that. Now.
Hadith 45. Narrated Anas, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam vowed to keep aloof from his wives for 1 month, and he had dislocated his leg. So he stayed in a mashruba for 29 nights and then came down. Some people said, "Oh Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you vowed to stay aloof for 1 month." He replied, "The month is of 29 days." Sahih Bukhari.
The previous hadith, I wanted to say one thing as well. The women, when they are on their menses, emotions are more higher than any other time in the month. Are we all together, brothers? ولذلك, the scholars, I don't remember who it was, he said that the month is 4 months, 4 weeks تقريبا, 4 weeks. 1 week تقريبا the woman's on her menses. Are we all together? 1 week she's on her menses. And then another week is before it, which is the menses is starting and she's getting into that time and it's working towards it. And another week is while she's rolling out of it. You only have 1 week with your wife in the whole month. How long do you have with her? No interruption is only what? 1 pure good week. Don't destroy that 1 week with so much argumentation. Save it. That's all you're going to get for the whole month. The rest of the weeks, what are you doing, brothers? You have to look after her feelings. That's why the Prophet brought Aisha under the sheet. Because if he pushes her aside and says, "Oh, because impurity, this, that," they don't see it that way this time. Are we all together? What does she see it as? Emotions are high. At this moment, you do more and beyond. Are we all together? That's another benefit that I didn't mention in the hadith. This other hadith, what we take from it is not to boycott your wife more than 4 months. A man is not permitted, he is not allowed to be away from his wife for 4 months. Up to 4 months, the scholars are of the opinion that you can. But after 4 months, she can take you to court. Are we all together? That's the highest you can go to when it comes to boycotting your wife. There's 3 hadiths inshallah ta'ala. You can all benefit by looking it up inshallah ta'ala. Anything which I have said that was wrong or incorrect is from me and shaitan, and Allah and His Messenger are free from it. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Any questions? هيا فضل.
There's a question from the sister. My husband does not listen when I remind him to have a better akhlaq with me as his wife. He seems nice to other people, but me, he always says, "Understand me." But we are both working, so it's difficult to be nice, attentive to a husband who always seems preoccupied or not interested.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest problems when it comes to the concept of men being different to inside and outside. Inside the house, he's harsh, he's tough, he's rough. And outside, he's what? Soft. And other people outside will swear by Allah, this man is a good guy. Oh, he's a noble brother. Wallahi, subhanallah, the best brother you can ever meet. But his wife cannot testify to that. Are we all together? And that's very important. And that is what? Very important. Especially brothers, a believer may get angry, but he never loses his composure, meaning his akhlaq. He doesn't lose his akhlaq and adab the way he deals with his wife. Allah said about the Prophet ﷺ, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. The Prophet is the best creation, is he not? Allah said to the Prophet, if your manners was bad, the companions would leave your circle. He's the Prophet of Allah. What he's telling them is a revelation. They will leave him if he doesn't have good manners. So if you don't have good manners, you're going to lose the people around you. Now,
Sheikh, while we have a hard relationship with our own parents, during the marriage, how do we, because it could be that they're jealous that we are very close to our wife, and your mom is always your mom, you see.
now, this concept of parents is a long, ongoing battle that I promise you I will never be able to finish it here. The fight between the mother and the wife and etc. It's a long-going battle. It started before I came into existence. And I can reassure you it will carry on after me as well. But you see, one of the things that I found very productive and beneficial is that you distance them from one another. A lot of the times, don't let them stay together. Don't. You distance them from one another. Okay? And occasionally you come and visit. Occasionally. In the Asian community, it's very common that the husband, he brings his wife to his parents' house. Very common. And this is not, it causes a lot of friction. What does it do? It causes a lot of friction and a lot of problems. The best thing to do is place your wife in one place and your mother in one place. You're a man. This is your role as a man. This is where the dhaka and the aql comes into place. You need to play a role to just control everything. To be smart where the fire they don't get caught. You know your mother and you take care of her, and you know your wife and you take care of her. This is the smart man, and that's how he deals with it. You don't drop your wife's responsibilities for your mother because لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. She's asking you for disobedience of Allah, which you're not allowed to do. Nor can your wife tell you to stop talking or dealing with your mum, because that's disobedience of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So it's your way and your method of keeping them away from one another. And it's a lot of the time it goes back to how the boy deals with the situation. It does come back to it. How he shields them one from one another. The husband can show the two to each other. Or he can be smart, turn each other away from one another. And that's something. بَلِ الْإِنسَانُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَصِيرًا. You know how to deal with that. But the first thing you need to do is if they're living together or if they're in any close range, that's the first step that you need to take. Now,
there's a question from a single mother. The question is like, what is the advice for the single mother to raise her child in the best manner? And second, how should I raise him to respect his father and paternal grandparents?
number one, what I want to say to that sister is don't give up, inshallah ta'ala. I can tell you more than 50 scholars whose mothers are the only ones who raise them. وعلى سبيل التمثيل, just quickly, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, 3 things worked against him. And he still became a scholar. You know what the 3 things were? Number one, his father died. He was an orphan. Generally, the father is needed. So the child learns courage and, his father wasn't in the picture. Number 2, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i was from a poor background. His mother was excessively poor. She couldn't even pay for his madrasa, for his tahfidh program. She couldn't pay for it. And the third one was what? His mother had no knowledge to give to him. She had nothing to teach him. But you know what she had? She was imra'atun salihatun. She was a righteous woman. She came with righteous deeds. Righteous. And wallahi, what touched me about his mother is, even that though she was poor, she didn't push her child towards things that could bring about money for him. Shafi'i was a smart kid. But what she did was she encouraged him to go towards the deen. She encouraged him. And the first person that gets the reward of what Imam Shafi'i spread in this ummah is his mother. She's the first person. She let him study with Imam Malik. She let him travel to the Bedouins and take their narrations and their poetries and their language and master it. His mother did that. The mother, wallahi, she's the one who, if she teaches and educates one person, she's educating a nation, You don't know, sister, who's asking the question, if this child of yours can be a president or the prime minister of a country, Allahu A'lam, who can govern the ummah, you never know what he can be. Put your heart and your mind to it. Supplicate and ask Allah Azza wa Jalla. And Allah does not forsake the righteous slaves. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ مَنْ أَحْسَنَ عَمَلًا. Second thing is, never tell your child about the conflicts that you have with their father. That's between you and the father. The child doesn't need to know. And the way that you build that love for your child is, if the father is a good person but wasn't good to you, but he's a good person, then inshallah ta'ala that won't be a problem. To tell him that your father loves you and he really misses you and etc. And it's good to convey this message to the father and say your children need to see you, Build that bridge between them. Because sister, it's in your benefit that the child has a figure, male figure. The second type of father is the one who's evil, corrupted. He's upon sins and bad deeds. The best way you can deal with him is you don't talk about him. Because there's nothing to mention good about him. And there's no way to push the child towards it. And let the child figure it out when he grows. And when he does, he will respect you utmost. You'll be truly respected in his eyes. When he grows up, he's going to respect you a lot. He's going to see you as a woman who chose not to mention all of this. Does that make sense? And he will see for himself what his father is. I know a mother who did that. She didn't tell their children about their father because he used to drink and he was alcoholic. He used to drink, he was drunk, spent his life being drunk. So the kid with the son, when he grew, he said, "Where's my dad? I want to see my dad. Inshallah, make dua." And she would say that to him. He never said anything more than that. Until he grew up and he went to find his father, investigate where his father is. When he saw his father, he came back crying to his mother and he said, "Mom, all those years you spent, you never told us anything." She taught him a lesson. Kitmanul, to conceal. And you know what she said to him? She said to him, "I was hoping that Allah might bring him back. He might come back from what he's upon. And so I don't want you guys, after he's repented, you still remember what he did." Imra'a dhakiyya, she was aqil. The same is with a brother. If the women's never talk bad about their brother. Even if you divorced her on the worst terms, walk away. Don't tell anyone. Be quiet. Even if you caught your wife cheating, don't tell anyone. She's got children for you. Walk away, don't say anything. It's going to affect your children. That's their mother. Just walk away, don't tell anyone. And let her repent to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Because who you're harming here now, the effect, the heat that comes from all of this is going to affect who? Your daughter and your son. And they're going to grow up for the rest of their life hearing that this is what their mom done and whatnot. When you leave each other, don't talk about each other. Say, "Allah, will this to take place?" قَدَّرُ اللَّهُ مَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. وَهَكَذَا.
We also need to wind up because it's getting 10 o'clock. What we can probably do is, like, if the students who have attended the session today, they can send us an email at info@kalima.org. That's info@kalima.org. Send us a question with the subject Divine Covenant. We will probably make a shoot sometime during this week or next week, and we'll respond to all the questions because I've got quite a lot of questions in my hand as well. Yeah.
And I truly apologize that I should have given a question. I promised at the beginning I was going to give the question how long? I'm truly sorry. I should have stopped at 9:30. I'd given half an hour to what? To the question as I promised. So I truly apologize. I should have taken your questions. So please forgive me.
However, I'd like to take one last question, and this seems to be quite interesting. As the sister is saying, the 3 A's can keep the woman happy. What keeps the man happy?
Good, that's a good. Allahumma barik, mashallah. That's a very good quality. That you don't just worry about what's given to you. It's a very good quality to say, No, don't worry what I get. I want to know what I have to give as well. That's a good character. Anyways, the man, what he needs, sarahatan, to be very honest, is the following. Number one, respect, obedience. The man needs to be respected. The wife needs to show utmost respect to her husband. Obedience. A wife has to listen to her husband. When he tells her to do something, she has to do it. The fourth one is she needs to show gratitude. Are you with me? And the fourth one is, I'm going to leave it general, which is she needs to fulfill his desires. The desires here can be intimacy and it can also be food. Those are the four I concluded with. If brothers can add anything to it, this is the four I think are fundamental. It all goes back to. The sisters are 3, the brothers are 4. Isn't it, you brothers, we're friends now, sah? So 4. The first one was what? Respect. If a wife does not respect her husband, trust me, he doesn't like it. Men love to be respected. If you tell your husband, yeah, I didn't do that because of you, that whole day he's walking sideways. Obedience. If he tells you jump and you say, how high do you want me to jump? He's over the moon. Third one is gratitude. When he does something for you, you come and you say, Wallahi. The reason why I say gratitude is very little in women. But to say to him, بعد الله عز وجل, after Allah, you helped us, man. You've done a lot for us. You know, you're playing your role. I really appreciate what you're doing for us. May Allah honor you. That's an encouragement for the man. He will go work tomorrow and he will get bonus. And that bonus is for you. I promise you. This will encourage him to buy you houses. Trust me, the person will feel, what can I do? I've done this already, let me do this for her. Trust me, gratitude is an amazing character. And the fourth one is, the wife is there to fulfill his needs, what he needs. His desires. She feeds him. She doesn't starve him to death. She doesn't cook him Kellogg's Frosties. You guys know Kellogg's Frosties? It's cornflakes. It's a type of cornflakes. She feeds him. She gives him food. She goes out of her way. She does that for him. And sisters don't understand, but the quality of food for a man, it's another thing. Sah, brothers. Food's a man's best friend. And last but not least, the other form of desire, that the woman fulfills it. And that she fulfills it, as the Prophet said, that he doesn't see from her what doesn't please him. So she's always looking good for him. And the second one is, she's always smelling nice. If a woman does that, wallahi, I promise you, she will enter from Jannah whichever 8 doors she wants, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. The Prophet said, أَيُّمَا امْرَأَةٍ صَامَتْ شَهْرَهَا. Any woman who fasts the month of Ramadan, وَصَلَّتْ خَمْسَهَا, and she prays the 5 daily prayers, وَأَطَاعَتْ بَعْلَهَا, and she what? Obeys her husband. دَخَلَتْ, she will enter from the 8 doors of Jannah whichever she wants. She chooses. Which one? Isn't that honorable, sisters? That's a big station, inshallah. And there's nothing greater to do those characteristics to protect your marriage. And it's not backward thinking, wallahi, to do that for your husband. And for the husband to do a lot. And some brothers might be asking today, why was the women being supported here? And why was all the narrations in support of the women? Because last time, the narrations were for the women. Wasn't that the case? Last time, it was sisters were getting told off. So what I will say is, sisters, let's balance it out. Try to listen to that 40 hadiths to women as well. And also brothers. Today, go home. Sisters, if they don't want to listen to it, make sure you put the headphones in their heads and make them watch this again and again and again, inshallah ta'ala. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. May Allah make our wives and children that which we find warmth in. إِنَّهُ وَلِيُّ ذَلِكَ وَالْقَادِرُ عَلَيْهِ. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Just I would like to say it once again. If you have your questions, you may please send us to info@kalima.org. The same